and welcome to another episode of EVTV. I'm Hannah Medina.
And I'm Carter Joseph. As the year's been moving on, I've noticed that many of my friends have been complaining about the amount of homework that they have.
Students are wondering what kind of impact homework really has.
To find out the impact that homework has on students, we go to Bernie and Bella.
Students struggle with many obstacles while they're in school, one of them being homework. According to a study by Stanford University, in 2014, over half of students consider homework a primary source of stress. Too much homework can result in students dropping out of activities, not seeing family friends, and not pursuing the hobbies they enjoy.
By assigning so much homework, we're essentially saying you shouldn't have a work-life balance of 40 hours a week work. Instead, you should have, 16 hours a week of work, because a lot of students do school for 7 hours, and then they do curricular activities for 3 hours, and then they have another 2 hours of homework, and that is a lot of stress.
In my case specifically, it does cause a lot of stress, especially with working other jobs and stuff, which a lot of students actually do.
Homework is a stressor, and I feel like a lot of kids are overwhelmed because they're taking a multitude of classes, and from reading to math to doing all the Spanish work to working in DEUS history to all the projects that they're doing, and then sports on top of it, outside commitments, it does become a lot and become overbearing.
While homework can be stressful, it can also be beneficial. It can help students improve their responsibility, time management, and more.
The benefits of homework are allowing students to be challenged outside of the classroom and problem solving instead of relying on either a teacher or a friend or anything else, whatever else they have, to help them solve the problems.
The extra practice they can get. Some students are really close in class to understanding, but yet they're also watching the teacher work the problem, and by having them at home looking at a problem or just outside the classroom and struggling through it actually helps a lot of the learning.
Pros to homework, and I think if the homework is meaningfully done so that it can engage the student in a very high learning process and is differentiated for various levels of student, then homework can be really beneficial for the student.
Like anything, balance is important. While homework has its benefits, there also needs to be a limit to how much a student receives.
I think what the equivalent is for college level courses is per credit hour. That's how many hours they should spend a week outside of class on other work, including homework. So for my class, it's a 4 credit hour class, which means my students should be working on stuff for my class an average of 4 hours per week.
There's a good limit for how much homework they should have. They should have no more than 10 minutes per grade level. So that's an hour and a half for a freshman. Now the reality is that teachers might be assigning homework and they underestimate how much time it takes.
As teachers, we have to think about what the workload is. And it's kind of hard to think across the whole entire student schedule because all you guys have different schedules, but at the same time, for me to sit there and assign a whole bunch of homework problems that are really more repetitive homework problems are not going to be advantageous for a student in learning.
It's of course good to practice it, but if you don't need to practice it, you should move on to another subject. And of course, if you keep practicing something, you're going to burn yourself out, I guess, eventually.
You know, Carter, staying up late because of homework and other school activities can be really energy draining sometimes. I often find myself needing an extra boost of energy.
You know, Hannah, one thing that gives me a giant boost of energy is coffee.
Luckily, we have tons of coffee shops throughout Gypsum and Eagle.
But Hannah, there are just so many decisions for me. How on earth am I ever going to decide?
Well, Sam and Alyssa went out and tested a few.
Hey guys, it's Sam and Alyssa. We've been around to all the different coffee shops in Eagle and Gypsum to see which place has the best coffee.
We went to Colo, Yeti's, Red Canyon, Starbucks, and Tukasa. And we rated them on taste, cost, presentation, and time.
We're at Colo right now and we both ordered mochas. And the time for getting it here was 20 minutes. The taste was pretty good. I like my mocha.
Mine is more on the darker side, which I really don't like, but it could be good.
And then my presentation, it was fine. The phone looked cool. I liked it.
I like the glass that it came in, so it had like black and white writing, so it was pretty cool.
And we both got smalls, which were $4.63, so I would think that's a bit more expensive, but it was still good.
So today we're at Yeti's.
I got a white chocolate mocha, which took about 5 minutes, so that's pretty good.
I got cocoa milk. and this took 5 minutes as well. The price was $4.95.
Yeah, mine was pretty cheap too. It was really good. I like the taste. It's my favorite drink.
Mine tastes pretty good.
So we're at Red Canyon right now. I got a regular small mocha.
I got regular iced chai.
Mine, for my small, it was $5.50, which I think is a bit on the pricier side.
My chai was a $5.10, so it's a little pricey than other coffee shops.
Presentation, I think, for mine was pretty bland, but what can you do with it?
Mine's just in a plastic cup. So,
and then for time, it took just a bit too long for me, honestly.
yeah, time around here, I think it takes 15-20 minutes.
And then taste, it's not my favorite, but I like it.
I like my chai. It tastes pretty good.
So we're at Starbucks right now, and I got an iced chai.
I got iced caramel macchiato.
Time-wise, really quick. Right as I got to the other side, it was there.
Mine was quick as well.
And price, mine was pretty cheap and really good. I like the taste too.
Mine was $4.99. So pretty good.
And presentation, I can't say much. It's just a regular plastic, so pretty good.
Presentation, well, you can see the espresso and the creams, which is different. The ice in the plastic cup.
So we're here at Casa. I got a caramel latte small.
I got a small white chocolate mocha.
Time-wise, our drinks took a bit longer than we expected, but I think the taste is pretty good for how long it took.
Yeah, she made it really quality.
Also, the price is really cheap, but for really good, so I really like it.
Yeah, my cup was $3, which was really cheap.
And then presentation, it's just in their normal cup, so we can't say much about it, but it was really good. So after going to all the coffee places, I chose that my favorite was Yeti's. It had everything that I wanted, and it was such a comfy feel to it.
I chose Red Canyon because it was really comfy, and everybody was really nice in there, so it just made it feel more better.
Thanks for tuning in.
Join us next week for another episode of EVTV.